Welcome to the Art of Classiness podcast, a show where we redefine what it means to be a classy lady. And sometimes it's messy. I'm Robin.
And I'm Deborah, two friends turned classy ladies who are here to discuss life's ups and downs, navigating the complexities of adulthood, and how the gift of friendship is essential to belonging.
We always hear about love languages and dating, but what about friendships? If you've ever felt unappreciated, or like you and your friend just don't speak the same language when it comes to showing love, this episode is for you.
We're breaking down how love languages apply to friendships, why some friendships feel unbalanced, and how to show love in ways that actually resonate.
So follow along, give us your feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe. What's up, classy ladies and gentlemen? Let's do a check-in. How was your week, Deborah?
Whew. You know, it feels like we were just here.
We kind of were.
We kind of were just here. You know, fast and furious, I would say. I feel like I'm on all, however many cylinders are in a car. Let's say 4. Is it 5 maybe sometimes?
6 to 8?
Sure. I'm on all of the cylinders right now. And sometimes that can feel a little overwhelming. But when I do it right, man, do I feel like I'm killing it. It is a very toxic relationship that I have with productivity, you know, because I feel like I'm doing more than the average person. So in the moments where I'm resting, I'm like, you lazy piece of shit. You're not doing anything. And then I look back, I'm like, oh, you worked on a podcast. You had a call with a branding photographer. You did contract work. You're planning a workshop. You're training for a triathlon. You're a single mom. You own a home. Just trying to be out here surviving in the world. So I'm trying to appreciate my own efforts more on a daily basis so that I can actually enjoy relaxing.
I totally feel you.
So if anyone has any tips on how to have that balance, that would be great. But I'm trying to put focus on the positive and really soak in this time of, you know, figuring out where my life is taking me and making sure that I'm putting my energy in the right place.
I 100% feel that. Yesterday, I went to the gym, I went for a walk, and then I made some brownies, and I was like, I'm ready for bed. I took a shower. It was 8 o'clock.
Perfect.
So I get it. And what I love about that is like all those things were just stuff that it's self-care. And I love, like, there have been some downsides to not having a full-time job anymore, but I love this aspect of it where I get to just choose what I want to do for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the power behind owning your own business. Like, you're your boss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can work for as long and as hard as you want to. And if you need to take a break on some days, that's your schedule, baby.
Clock out.
Yeah.
Love that.
But yeah, my week has been pretty basic. However, I just hired a dog trainer for Penny who specializes in training service dogs because I want to get her certified. And I loved it when he came for the assessment. He was like, wow, she's like 80 to 90% there already.
Wow.
So he's like, we can skip this, and this is the stuff we're going to focus on. So I'm a proud mom. And the new tips that he's showing me, like, they're so minor, but they're making a huge difference for Penny. Like, she's picking things up way faster than she did before. And
that's great.
So yeah, I'm just really excited to get her 100% ready to go. And it's really nice to see her progress. I just love her so much. So today's classy convo is about the 5 love languages. We always talk about love languages with romantic relationships, but what about friendships?
Yeah, and I think this is such an overlooked topic of conversation between friends because, like you mentioned, we put so much effort into understanding the dynamics of our romantic relationships, but people might not realize that there could be an undercurrent of conflict happening if you don't understand the way that your friends show love and appreciation as well. So today we wanted to really break down what those love languages were in the first place, talk about how there can be misunderstandings and how you can adjust, and essentially why it's important to know the love languages of your friends so that you don't get into a conflict that could potentially end your friendship.
Exactly. And something we've talked about before is it's so much easier to address those kind of uncomfortable situations with a romantic partner. And with friendships, it's easier to like fly it under the radar because you're afraid of making them mad.
Yeah.
That kind of confrontation, I want to talk about that today a lot because it doesn't have to feel like a confrontation.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is funny the way that sometimes we are not really as apt to rock the boat in a friendship as you are when you're dating somebody. Like, how easy is it to say, what is that supposed to mean? To like your boyfriend or your husband, but you don't maybe express that with a friend, depending on how close you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we wanted to just dive right in and talk about the different love languages.
Yeah. Let's start with some pain points. Why do friendships feel unbalanced sometimes? For me, one is understanding that friends express and receive love differently. That's the biggest misunderstanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So identifying that, and oftentimes you might be trying to show your love towards somebody, but you still feel underappreciated and you don't understand why.
Yeah, I feel like a common theme that you hear with maybe friends that are in conflict is one person will have a laundry list of things that they feel like they've done for somebody else. I threw her bachelorette party. I spent all this money on her wedding. I was the first one to do X, Y, and Z, and she barely even posted about me on social media for my birthday. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you hear that type of theme when it comes to conflicts in friendships a lot. Like that unbalanced nature of giving and receiving tends to really be a pathway to fighting.
Absolutely. And a lot of times you're just assuming that your friends feel the love the same way you give it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not always true. So struggling to show up for a friend the way they need isn't the same as how you prefer.
Yeah. I think something else that typically happens with friends, like you were saying, you don't always receive the love the same way that you give love. People assume by giving that you're doing enough. But some of those things that you're giving might make your friend very uncomfortable. So for example, you might be an extrovert and want to have a big birthday celebration that everybody's welcome. You invite, 50 plus people to a bar. And so when you think about your friend's birthday, you might think, I'm going to plan this huge surprise party. She's going to walk in. Everyone's going to be there yelling surprise. Well, if your friend does not like that much attention or has a very hard relationship with their birthday, which a lot of people do, that could be the worst thing that you do for them. So just because that's something that you would love to happen for you does not mean that that is the way that your friend wants to receive love.
Well said. So let's discuss all the different love languages. I know where I fall for giving and receiving. I'm excited to hear about yours. Let's go with words of affirmation first. How would you describe that?
So words of affirmation are going to be the type of person who says compliments, encouragement, heartfelt messages. They're the ones that are sending you hype texts. They're the ones that are maybe commenting on every single picture you post. They're the ones with the fire emoji ready to go, right? They're always expressing with words their appreciation for you. And the words part of it, is the biggest differentiator. They're not just showing it to you in other ways, but they are looking you in the eye and saying those things, which for some people, they love to hear it. You really feed on that. It gives them a lot of validation. But not everybody wants to be told words of affirmation.
No, that's a tough one that I have actually struggled with because it's not something I ever got as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me uncomfortable when I get too much of it. But now, as an adult, through all of my personal growth, I've learned to understand the love languages and that it's a lot easier for me to give it. I love giving it. I will be your hype woman. I will send you that "you're doing amazing, sweetie" text.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some gifts with confetti. I love telling people happy birthday. Yeah, just showering people with compliments and support, I think, is the biggest thing. They feel loved when you tell them, I love you.
Yeah.
Not when you give them a gift. You got them a gift because you love them, but they don't feel that love because you didn't say it.
Yeah, this is going to be the friend that maybe gets upset that you, quote unquote, never said thank you, right?
Right.
And maybe you showed it in a million ways. Maybe you gave a big hug. Maybe you, like you said, gave them a gift in return. But if you did not explicitly say thank you to someone, or this isn't quite affirmation, but if you are not saying, hey, I'm having a party on Friday, I would love for you to be there, versus you're welcome to come, that words of affirmation friend needs to hear, I want you to be there, versus you're welcome to come.
Yes.
So even those small micro differences in the words you're choosing could make a huge difference to your friend. They're going to be the person that analyzes the text.
Oh, yes.
They're going to read through what you're saying. They are going to quote back to you something that you said, because the words are going to be the thing that resonates the most with this friend.
Absolutely. And so to adjust to this style of love language, try random check-in texts like, hey, I was thinking of you today. How are you? Sending them verbal encouragement, especially when they're struggling.
Yes. The random check-in texts are a great thing to receive from a friend if you are a words of affirmation person, and a really simple thing for you to do if you are not a words of affirmation giver. So if you struggle with saying things like, hey, I just wanted to tell you how much I love you and you're my best friend, you could maybe find an easier time saying, hey, thinking about you, hope all is well, right? That might be the extent of your comfort zone, but that is going to land really well to the words of affirmation person, because they're going to be receiving that as like, oh, not only are they thinking of me, they're telling me that they're thinking of me. So that's going to be the biggest difference for that person.
Yeah, nice.
My friend from college, I have a few friends from college that do this. We will, at random, text each other, you're doing a really good job, everybody thinks so, or something like that. Or my favorite is, oh my God, I totally love your outfit today. Even though we have not physically seen each other, or we live in different states, we will just send each other random things like that. Like, I just wanted to tell you that you're doing a great job. And it usually lands at a time when one of us needs to hear it the most. So that's just a really good routine to just get into. Think of a friend that maybe is trying something new or moving through a new path in their life, and just send them a, you're doing a really good job right now text.
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next we have acts of service, which that is my number one.
Okay.
Obviously, you can have multiple love languages. We'll talk about that, as well as the giving versus receiving, because that can be different too. But for me, giving and receiving love languages is acts of service.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you want to feel my love or show me love, it's through acts of service. Helping with errands, planning an event, planning a trip, picking up your favorite snacks. I am the task queen.
Mm-hmm.
I've got you. I will pick you up from the airport. No problem. I will drive across town to pick up your favorite snack without a second thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that acts of service really encompasses a phrase that I recently heard on TikTok. Don't you love when people are like, I recently read, or someone once told me? It's TikTok. TikTok is always the source material. Let's just call it what it is. Someone said, to be known is to be loved. And if someone, like you said, shows you a service that really indicates they know you, like you said, having their favorite snack ready when you come over, that shows like, I know you, and this is how I am going to honor how much I know you, is by putting it on display. Or I know that you always forget to take the trash out before it's due. So when I left your house last night, I made sure to drag it to the curb. Little things like that can be an indication of how intimate you are with a friend. How much do they know that after your performance review with your boss, you're going to need to go out and get drinks? So they've already gone ahead and like put it on the calendar. Things like that, I think really just can be a great way of displaying that you matter to someone else.
Right. And then like the misunderstanding side of it.
Mm-hmm.
This one I feel is the most tricky because acts of service require a lot more effort.
Yeah.
So if that's their love language, if the friend doesn't acknowledge it the way you want them to, you could really feel unloved. You could feel like your work has gone unnoticed. You could feel slighted and maybe used. And I could use those words because I have actually felt all of those feelings. And it's because most of the time the other person just doesn't know that that's how I'm expressing my love, and I need them to acknowledge it in some way.
Yes. This is where both acts of service and giving and receiving gifts, which we'll talk about shortly, can be tricky because both of them do require effort. And sometimes the people who this is their love language has to let go of how somebody is going to receive these things. Like you going to a new mom's house and cleaning the kitchen so the mom can take a nap, or taking the baby so, the mom can take a shower, and you never get a thank you, or maybe you keep doing it over and over again, but then when you need someone to do the same thing for you, they're not showing up like that. That is such an easy way to feel unappreciated. Even if that person sent you a congratulations text right away and has been asking how you're doing and has been telling you they're thinking about you, if acts of service is the way that you receive love, this is a very tricky one to feel that level of unbalanced nature and potentially unappreciation.
Yes. I just think friends being aware of what your love language is everything.
Yeah.
Because then when they have the opportunity to provide that service, it's that much more meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
And it's kind of our responsibility to let them know. It's great if your friend asks you, but you can also just start a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Seth, for example, he knows the acts of service is my love language, and I will validate him when he does things for me. Like he's in the living room playing video games. I'm cozy in bed watching my trash TV, and I decide I want some tea and a snack. And I'll text him, "Can I have some tea and a snack?" And he comes running into the room like, "What would you like, my love? You stay there." And I'll say "Thank you so much. I feel loved when you do these things for me," which also encourages him to continue doing it because he knows I really feel loved and it makes me happy. So then it makes him happy and everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. I love that. Yeah, you have to sometimes be explicit. I really appreciate when you do these things for me, because all the love languages are great ways to show love and appreciation, but sometimes you really got to hone in and be like, this makes me feel like we are best friends.
Right.
All right, let's talk about gifts. This is a tricky one, I think, in friendships sometimes, because in a romantic relationship, there is a very clear understanding that you should give gifts to each other for certain events, for Christmas, for birthdays, maybe anniversaries. Most certainly, if you're married, I would assume that you are exchanging gifts for that anniversary. But with friends, the expectations are not always clear.
Mm-mm.
Let me ask you this, Robin. Do you typically give friends gifts for their birthday?
A few. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's every year. It's just when, if it makes sense, when I'm thinking about it, if I think of something thoughtful.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, it's not about how much you're spending on the gift. It's the thoughtfulness behind it.
Right.
It can be something small. It could be about an inside joke.
Mm-hmm.
Little trinkets while you've been out traveling. I've had some friends get me some magnets because they see that I collect magnets from when I travel. I just think that's really sweet.
Aw.
I actually live for giving thoughtful gifts, but I think what you were getting at is if I spend time finding the perfect thing and then it doesn't get acknowledged or reciprocated, one might spiral if that happens enough times.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of this wonderful thing for my friend for their birthday. Why didn't they do anything for my birthday?
Yes. And I have been in this dynamic before because I'm kind of similar. If I see something that is oh my God, this is perfect, then I might just buy it as a birthday gift. Or I've sent cookies or cake before, or Robin, you've sent flowers. I've received beautiful flowers from you before on my birthday. This year, your birthday present was this podcast microphone.
That's right.
Started it all off. So you, I think, are really good at that. I am very inconsistent with giving gifts. I have a lot of anxiety around giving and receiving gifts, which could be an entirely different episode on its own. But I did have a friend who, we had gotten to a point where we were just like butting heads a little bit. And we went out to get happy hour and we're drinking. And it was like the liquid courage where she finally told me, I've known you for 4 years and I think I've given you a birthday gift for the past 3, and you have never given me a present for my birthday.
Oof.
And I just was like stopped in my tracks because she was right. I will say 2 of those birthdays, I was on maternity leave, very fresh maternity leave for both of them because my kids were born back-to-back months. And so as much as I wanted to like defend, I was sleep deprived for 2 of those years. I completely received what she was saying because it was valid, and again, this is a perfect representation of this conversation. For her, she felt love by giving and receiving gifts. Like that was her two-way street love language. And for me, that just wasn't how I showed love. But then it was awkward because her birthday was coming up. So I'm like, well, I definitely have to get her something for her birthday, but I actually really want to. But now it feels like I am just doing it because she told me that she's upset that I haven't done it before. So I really, truly did want to give her a gift that year. It just was kind of like poor timing in terms of the argument. But yeah, I mean, that's just a perfect example of how not really understanding how the other person feels appreciated can result in conflict. Thankfully, we were able to talk it out, hug it out, move past it. But this is something that can be dicey. And I feel like this has got to be a group decision. I feel like you got to have some social norms in a group that we're all going to do this, or everyone goes in on flowers for each other for the birthday, or nobody does anything and we just celebrate together in person. But gifts can be a very weird power dynamic in friends.
Totally. Which, like, the older I get, the less gifts I buy for people. Everyone's so busy, especially now. Like, everyone has different schedules, kids, all the things. I don't expect someone to remember to get me a birthday gift at this point in my life. In our 20s, that was different.
Right.
We should talk about that too. It's like how your love languages can change over time depending on your life situation.
100%. I remember working, I was in my late 20s. I may have been like on the eve of my 30s. And I worked with a lot of younger people at the time. And there were like a few really young ladies in the office, probably like 22, 23. And they would take like their birthday off. They would go on birthday trips with their friends. One girl, I swear to God, it was like every other hour, a new thing was being delivered to the office. Like her friend had cookies delivered to the office. Like someone sent her flowers. And I was like, what girlfriend group did you find yourself in where you guys are just like falling over each other to like give all these gifts? And I'm like, me and my girlfriends have never done excessive displays of gift giving for birthdays. And we, even in our previous episodes where we've talked about Christmas, like we've never even done a Christmas exchange with each other gift wise.
Mm-mm.
So, but some friends, like that is a huge deal doing that. So I feel like this is something that really, you need to set some parameters.
Yeah.
Early and often, and everyone's got to stick with it. Otherwise, there can really easily be a misbalance.
Yeah. I remember one year, some of our friend threw like a Christmas party, and it was my idea that we do a Secret Santa. So then everyone gets one gift, and like some people made wish lists. I had Carly, and I got her a Pickle Rick pipe.
Oh, yes.
It was the best. I was so proud of that gift.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about my wedding, we had a destination wedding and I had a destination bachelorette party. So when my sister asked me if she could throw me a bridal shower, I felt extremely uncomfortable. I was like, I'm already asking so much of my friends. Like, I don't feel right having a party just for people to give me more presents. Like, the gift is their presents for me, Ah,
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And that's how I truly felt. So I didn't do a bridal shower, and I stand by that. And I'm weird about all the attention being on me too. So
awkward. Any type of shower is literally so awkward because you're like, oh my God, it's the exact thing that I asked you specifically to get me. Thank you. We all saw it. It was all on the registry. Thank you for buying that.
Mm-hmm.
I once saw a brilliant idea, and it was an unwrapped baby shower. So everybody put their gifts on display on a table, not wrapped, so that everyone could see all the presents that the mom-to-be was getting. But she didn't have to sit down doing the awkward, oh, breast pump.
I hate that. I hate that. If I get pregnant and have a baby shower, I will not open presents in front of people.
Good. Don't do it. Nobody likes watching it. Either open them later or do the, unwrapped table of gifts just so everyone can see and ooh and ah over the cute little socks and onesies. But yeah.
Save the environment. Don't put my stuff in gift bags.
Yeah.
Just bring it ready to load into my car.
There you go. Just drop it off at my house, actually.
Yeah. Have it shipped directly to my door. I've actually done that for several baby showers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here's your present. You have it now.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so our next love language is my number 2, quality time. And quality time is all about giving that person your undivided attention. No phones, no distractions. You're just spending time together.
Yeah.
One-on-one meetups, deep conversations, and just it's intentional time. And it's so important. I had a recent example. I planned this Christmas bar hopping experience with a friend because we both love Christmas. And when it came to the day, she was going through some stuff. So we worked it out, but she was really wishy-washy about whether or not she was actually going to meet up with me, and then just ended up canceling. So I planned this whole friend date. She canceled the day of, and I was so hurt.
Yeah.
It makes me question our friendship, but I took it upon myself to let her know. It felt dismissive of you to just cancel like that.
Good.
And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That of course not. That's not my intention. And then guess what? She started making more of an effort to make plans with me.
Oh, great. That's good.
That's my most recent quality time anecdote. But again, it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
To let the other person know that this is important to you. Because to them, it may not feel that way. She had no idea that it hurt my feelings like that.
Yeah, I think expressing that you need that. And for me, the way I interpret quality time is showing up for somebody else. So I would probably say friendship-wise, quality time is my number 1 love language. To probably give and receive, because nothing is more meaningful to me than when my friends actually show up. Whether it is I'm planning something or I'm trying to get people to come out and do stuff. Again, we've talked about it before, but I'm very sensitive to rejection. So, I totally understand how your feelings were hurt with your friend canceling that plan, because I would have just felt extremely rejected, not somebody you want to spend time with. So for me, this is so important to make that time for someone, show up for them, even just reaching out and saying, hey, do you want to get lunch sometime? Hey, let's get coffee, or let's have a standing date. I actually saw a really great idea of someone who does what they call office hours at a coffee shop on Saturdays, where they just say, I'm going to be here from 1 to 4. Come on, stop and say hi. This is where I'm going to be hanging out if you guys want to spend time. And I just thought that's a really creative way to get people to come out. I would never do it because the idea of nobody showing up would absolutely destroy me. Could never get over it.
Yeah, you are kind of setting yourself up for disappointment sometimes. You have to be okay with no one showing up.
Yes, I am not comfy with that. So, but yeah, for me, that's what quality time means for me.
What's funny is with Seth, I tell him my love language for him is all of them.
100%. When people are like, what's your love language? I'm like, every single one. I want gifts. I want to be touched, spend time with me, tell me I'm pretty. What are we missing?
Yeah. But I he's my partner. So of course, I want to feel love in every single way. Give it to me. Give it all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But quality time is definitely one of the most important ones because fostering relationships is the most important thing to me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And quality time and acts of service, that's it for me. And quality time specifically, like, you don't have to be in person to have that quality time. It could be a phone call.
Yeah.
Like, you have catch-up phone calls with your bestie all the time. You know, like, we catch up so much more now just from doing this podcast. Like, our relationship has completely transformed because of how we work together now.
Or other more creative ways, like you and I were talking about right before this call, where Robin and I and our friend Jackie will sync up when we're watching Love is Blind so that we can text each other our reactions in real time. And this has honestly been so fun to do. It is funny. It is witty. We're all like usually on the same page. Somebody sometimes will point things out that like the other person didn't pick up on. And that act right there has made me feel closer to Jackie as well. The revelation that you guys were watching trash TV together, I remember when I found that out, I think last year, I was like, I want in on this because I have so much to say about trash TV. And it's been such a great avenue to just get to know her on a different level as well. And an excuse to just feel like you are spending time with your friends that are not physically close to you.
Exactly. And an extension of that is from knowing that we're watching the same shows, we then send each other hilarious memes and TikTok videos making fun of the show. Like, it's just created this whole other avenue of discussion topics.
A shared experience.
Yeah. And none of us live in the same city.
No.
But we're spending that quality time together.
We're in different time zones, all three of us.
3 different time zones. Yeah. Wow.
So that's a great, if you haven't done that already, set a TV date with your friends and get on the chat, or maybe make it a virtual event. There's a great app called 𝗪𝗲.
Yep.
That's exactly what it's there for. So this is a great way to spend quality time with your friends.
Yeah. And what's great about 𝗪𝗲 is that you're watching the show at exactly the same time. Whereas Jackie and I, we eliminated 𝗪𝗲. We just skip straight to texting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It works just fine as well. We're just lazy. But yeah, it's a great app.
All right. Now, the last one seems a little weird for friends, but I have seen this kind of behavior a lot with women, which is physical touch. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be holding hands or obviously in the same way that you would touch a romantic partner, but hugging, linking arms, like just being handsy with each other, sitting close to each other on the couch. There are some friends that really are just like a human pile when they're together. And there are other friends that just do not do that. And what's so funny, and I've seen this theory, is for some people, your closest friend has the least physical contact to you. And this is like so true for me.
Same. Physical touch is actually, I used to say words of affirmation was the bottom, but physical touch is actually at the bottom for me. And it's not because I hate it. It's because, again, as a child, I did not receive very much physical touch. And if I did, sometimes it was inappropriate. And so over time, it's just made me feel very uncomfortable. And I've hurt people's feelings by not being as reciprocating with my hugs and things. And again, over time, I've gotten better at it, especially when I know the person's love language is physical touch. Like, I know they want a good hug from me and I'm all in. But I struggle with people I'm not very close to or strangers, especially when someone's like, get in here, I'm a hugger. And I'm like, oh,
I'm not though.
I'm a handshaker. This is a really difficult one for me, for sure.
I am not a physical touch with friends person at all. I mean, I will hug, obviously. And one thing I will do is like the playful nudges are just like, I'm physical in the sense that if I'm telling you a story and I'm about to say something captivating, I might put my hand on you or I might like touch your leg. You know, I'm actually really guilty of doing that with guys, which I've learned can be misleading, but it's just a way that I show what is actually called immediacy. So immediacy is the way that you can show how close you are, like psychologically, through either physical touch or even words of affirmation. So calling someone dear or darling or honey is a form of immediacy. And that is one thing I will do if I'm close to someone, like, oh my God, like it's like that. Have you ever seen that episode of Friends where Punky Brewster, aka Soleil Moon Frye, is dating Joey. And she always is like, I just love this guy. She's always like punching him in the arm and punching him in the chest. I don't take it to that level, but sometimes that's how I am if I'm animated in a conversation. But like hugging, nope, not a hugger with girlfriends. And sometimes it is funny because I think we're all kind of like that. It's like we're a bunch of cats that get along, but we're not going to lay together. And who's the funniest with this to me is Lauren, not a hugger. But we don't see each other very often. We see each other like once or twice a year. So obviously when I see her, there's the obligatory like, hey. And I just always know that both of us at the same time are like, let's do our annual hug.
My mom is the worst hugger. I get the one arm tap, just a little pat on the back. There's no squeezing. And that's been difficult for me because it's my mom. But she is not a toucher at all.
Yeah, so this can be uncomfortable if you find yourself becoming friends with a big-time physical touch girly, And again, I just think of, I knew friends in college that were like very girly girls. So they were always hugging, playing with each other's hair.
Arms linked,
sometimes holding hands. Like I knew someone at a previous job that like all of her social media stuff are just like hugs and kisses, picking each other up. You know what I mean? Like laying on the couch together. And I'm like, that is just not my style at all.
You'll never catch me kissing a friend.
No.
Mm-mm.
Like on the lips or on the cheek?
Well, I was thinking on the cheek.
Okay.
But also not on the lips.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I'm uncomfy just thinking about it.
Yeah. I love the warm embrace with my close friends. That's my physical touch.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets.
Seth gets all of it. He gets all the rest.
100%. I love physical touch in a romantic relationship.
Yes.
Like that, something that it means a lot to me. I give it willingly. I receive it well. I used to say the way to make me happy, I need to be pet, I need to be fed, and I need to be put to bed. I like an early bedtime. I like some cuddling before sleep. But do those three things, we're going to be okay. Pet, fed, put to bed.
You really do sound like a cat.
I am.
So if you're not a touchy-feely person, that's okay. If you know that a friend is, just find small ways to reciprocate, like pats on the back, sitting close during conversation, or just asking the friend, like, hey, I'm not a big touchy-feely person, but I do want to express my love for you. How can I do that without either of us feeling uncomfortable here?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to have those conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. And there are several different assessments that you can take online that you can answer certain questions, and it will give you, if you're unsure, because sometimes I am unsure of like which ones I actually like to give and receive. And your giving love language might not be the same as your receiving love language, So really understanding those dynamics, but it can be a really fun girls' night to have where you find out those things about each other, because where you really want to know how to express these love languages is when someone is going through a hard time. And by the time they are in that hard time, it is too late to ask, right? Nobody who has ever grieved wants to be asked, what do you need? Right? Because they don't know. Your head is completely in a different place. Sometimes your world has collapsed. So nothing could be more meaningful than someone showing up for you in the way that you need them. But you gotta find out what that is before someone really, really needs it, because that is really where a lot of conflict can arise.
Yes. And I think this is a great opportunity to talk a little bit more about the giving versus receiving. Because while they're the same for me, it's not the same for everybody. And understanding those differences is crucial to any relationship. You're missing opportunities to truly connect with someone when you don't have that tiny bit of information. Like that, that information is golden in any relationship.
Right.
Someone is giving you the key to unlock the door to love. Like,
Yeah. So obviously the phrase love language is so tightly tied to romantic relationships, but friends can really be the greatest loves of your life as well. So it's kind of why they deserve the same energy as romantic relationships, you know? And thankfully, through this podcast, you and I have been able to talk about all the different ways that you can show up for your friends the same way that you show up for your families and your loved ones, whether it's Friendsgiving or your Friendship Secret Santa, or most importantly, Galentine's Day, all these different avenues that you can show up. So while you're showing up for those things, keeping these love languages in mind can be just that extra component to make sure that everyone there feels loved and appreciated.
That's right. So our challenge to you this week is ask your best friend what makes them feel most appreciated, and then do that thing for them. You know, consider what is the most meaningful thing that a friend has done for you. To think about what your love language might be, aside from taking the quiz itself, because there's so many nuances in love languages, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So just, think about like, how can you normalize friendship appreciation through these acts of love?
And honestly, this could be a really fun theme for a girls' night. Show up as your love language. Everybody come with your full love language on display. If you are an acts of service person, the idea just crumbled in front of my eyes.
If you're an acts of service person, plan the get together. If you're a gift giver, bring the snacks. If you're words of affirmation, acknowledge everyone who brought or planned something.
Write a little letter for everyone.
Yeah. And quality time is taking care of itself. You're all together. And then, what's the last one? Physical touch, you know? When you greet everybody, give a big hug. And then take a photo together.
Take a photo together. Maybe a friend kissing booth. It's so creepy. It's so creepy. I'm just picturing.
What's funny, I'm laughing because like was something I used to do if I planned a party, there was always a photo booth.
Real? Yes. So it can be a little kissy kiss booth.
Yeah.
Friends. That's so cheesy.
Kiss your friends.
Okay, real question though. Have you ever had a friend, guy or girl, that like is a lip kisser?
I don't think so. I've definitely had people like go to kiss my cheek, which also makes me uncomfortable. But I know like that is part of some people's culture. I'm not offended by it. It's just because of my thing with physical touch. It's always like, ugh, I get goosebumps.
It has always just seemed like a rich lady thing to do. You know, like you see someone and you're like, mwah, mwah. Like that could never be me. Could never be me.
Mm-mm.
If you're a kissy kiss person, I don't know why the word
Kissy kiss. If you're a kissy kiss person, only do a kissy.
Just one little mwah, or like an air kiss, you know, mwah, mwah. I don't know.
All right. Moving on to our next segment, Class Act of the Week. And that's where we take turns every week talking about the classiest thing we've seen this week. And it is Deborah's turn. What you got?
It is my turn. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Because I have been working so hard this past week, I really have not had that many interactions with real life human beings. So instead, I have reverted to parasocial relationships online. And I saw the absolute cutest thing, a real representation of love is love in the old TikTok. And if you are not familiar with 𝗪𝗿𝗵𝗵, you absolutely need to be. She is rising in fame because she is on the show Traitors, but I knew her back when she was on The Bachelor Clayton season, and she was an iconic character on that show. She had absolutely the best one-liners. Went on to be one of 2 bachelorettes that season, which was just awkward across the board, but she made the best of it. And then maybe like a year, 18 months after The Bachelor, she came out as dating a woman and has been in a relationship with comedian Robbie Hoffman for at least a few years now. Don't exactly know how long they've been together.
Couple years, yeah.
And they recently announced that they got married in January. And I have watched the clip of her walking down the aisle and dancing with Robbie at the end of the aisle so many times. It is so cute. It is just truly love is love. But the best part about it is that they walk down the aisle to Chapel Roan's Hot to Go. and it is perfect. Sometimes when you see a wedding, you can absolutely see why two people are perfect for each other.
Totally.
And this video just encompasses how two people can find each other and really be like their better half. Like they're both hilarious in their own right. Robbie is a stand-up comedian and she is so freaking funny. She's so funny. I could literally listen to her comedy all the time. Gabby has a podcast and she's got the best one-liners ever. And I just thought it was such a class act, the way that they did it all. They eloped in Vegas after the wildfires in LA, where they were afraid they were going to lose their home and, you know, everything that came with it. They ended up getting a perfect suite in one of the Vegas hotels that they were like, this actually looks like a wedding venue. Why don't we just get married here? You know, I think she said all in, they spent less than $800. And I love that kind of wedding story so much. It doesn't have to be about all the pomp and circumstance and having the perfect bridal party and everybody looking perfect and manicured and all these like Instagrammable moments that people try to achieve when they're planning a wedding. You strip all that down, you just have two people who are meant to be together. And I just feel like what they were able to accomplish by eloping in Vegas and then keeping it a secret for a few weeks was so classy. So my parasocial friends, Gabby and Robbie, you are my class act of the week.
Love it.
All right, moving along to our final segment, class or crass. This is when we evaluate scenarios to see, is it classy or is it crassy?
What do we got today?
Okay, we all know the scenario. You've gone to a restaurant, you got an impeccable entree, and someone says, hey, do you mind if I have a bite? Is it classy or crassy to ask somebody for a bite of their food off their plate?
I have a few thoughts on this. Number one, like if I'm at a restaurant and we collectively decide that we're going to order a bunch of dishes and share, that's fine. As long as I get a bite, we're cool.
Yeah.
If we have agreed to get our own dishes, it really depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Same.
Is it too much food? I'm not going to finish it. Do I even want to try what's on your plate? Is there a fair trade here? Am I hangry? It's a lot of variables.
Yes. The hangry part, it trumps everything. Now, for me, I will tell you, I am kind of a hypocrite when it comes to this because I am not the first person to share my food, even if it's so good. Even if it's so good, I have to really tell myself, like, you should offer a bite to somebody else. You know, you should say, hey, do you want to try it? You should do that because that's what a good person would do. But really, if I didn't have to worry about how other people saw me, I would never offer anybody food off my plate. Now, have I been like, that looks good? I don't think I've ever expressly asked, unless it's like maybe a boyfriend or, you know, ex-husband, like, hey, give me a bite. Because you just have that, like, there's no boundaries in those settings.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever straight up asked a friend, like, whoa, can I try? Because that would just be fat girl city, being like, give me some of your food. That looks good. I want a bite. Like, I don't think I could ever do that. But man, the second you offer me, I'm going in. I'm going in. But if it looks too good, I worry that I'm going to like it so much that I'm going to want to eat all of it. So what I usually do is if someone's like, oh, this is good, you should try it, I'll say, I'll wait till you slow down.
Ooh.
Once you feel like I feel full, I will take it over and I won't know when to stop. Because if you give me one bite and I love it, I'm going to be like, if you give a mouse a cookie, I'm just going to want more and more. And I'm going to really push my limits with you. So you better wait until you're ready to part ways with that food, until you give me a bite.
I'm thinking of a specific night where we were on like a triple date with some friends. And I knew that, I can't remember, Seth's dish was better or my dish was better. I think mine was better because when he wanted some, I gave him the look of like, how dare you? And then every time he's like so hurt because it is my husband and we should be.
Yeah.
We usually do share everything, but sometimes I'm like, this is better than yours. I do not want yours. I do not care that you're offering me a bite. Hands up.
Right.
But another scenario, this was just a coworker when I worked in the restaurant industry. We had a meeting before our shift. I got 𝗱𝗵𝗴, which is a local burger joint. I absolutely love their fries.
Oh, they're so good.
You have to eat them right away.
Yes, you do.
So I'm sitting there eating my food and sharing table with my coworkers, and there's a girl sitting across from me. She did ask, like, hey, can I have a fry? And I said, sure. Then she kept going back for more.
That would be me. I'm not going to lie. That would be me, which is why I can't ask.
Hangry Robin reacted a little too harshly for someone that I am not close to. It was like, don't touch my foot. Get your hands out of there. It was so embarrassing. Like, I had to go up to her later and apologize because the look on her face, like, I scared her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're scaring me.
You should be.
Not really. No, I get it. I get where she comes from, which is why I can't put myself in that environment until I'm absolutely sure you're okay with me finishing off those fries. A fry, I have no restraint. I'm never going to be able to just have one.
Here's something that I appreciate. When someone says, help yourself, they put something in the middle of the table, help yourself. Like, they know that they just want a couple bites. It's for the taking. I'm still probably not going to be the person to take that last bite unless I know, like, nobody else wants it. It's the same thing with the last pizza slice, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm doing it.
Without saying anything?
If someone says help yourself, you have relinquished the right to that food.
Oh, that. Yeah, I thought you meant I'm taking that last pizza slice.
I am taking it. If you've said help yourself, if someone's like, I'm good, that's it. I will leave no crumbs. And not in like the cute TikTok way where like I said something, I ate and left no crumbs. I actually mean I will leave no crumbs.
I'll lead with, I'm going to take this last piece if no one else wants it.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I'm partially claiming it. And if someone's like, well, actually, I did want some more. I'm like, okay, well, I'll cut it in half, I guess.
Yeah.
We're assholes.
Yeah.
We're crass.
Yeah, I mean, I just love
scenario.
We are crass. So the scenario is we're crassholes because we will eat when it's not appropriate. Here's how you do it with class. You see someone that has a delicious plate in front of them, I think you got to butter up the situation. You got to say, wow, that looks so good. I'll have to get that next time.
Ooh.
Oh, is that mozzarella cheese? Like, you just ask and you put yourself in the position to be offered.
What's funny is that I do make those comments because I genuinely mean them. And then the person offers me a bite and I actually don't want to bite sometimes. Like, oh, yeah, it is really good. Do you want to bite? Oh, no, got plenty of food here. Sometimes I do it because I want to bite, but a lot of times I'm just like, God damn, that looks amazing. But I do not care to try it right now.
I will always try it. And again, so my playbook is let it be known that I'm interested in that plate, wait for them to offer, tell them that I'll wait till they slow down. And then I go in.
We sound like strategic raccoons.
No one is thinking about food more and how to handle the food than me at a dinner party.
Same.
It is, am I eating too quickly? How come everyone's slowing down? Am I the only one cleaning my plate? Are they going to finish those fries? Are we getting dessert? So much food noise.
Earlier on, it was a bigger issue, but I definitely had a problem with resource guarding. That's what it is. Especially when I'm hangry. I tend to resource guard. Seth has called me out on it.
Yeah.
We've had to have talks. And I'm like, again, another element from my childhood.
Not enough food.
Things were often taken from me. I didn't have enough food. Like, sharing has been a difficult thing for me to learn through my adulthood because of all that was taken from me as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's just a really interesting, classy scenario.
Yeah, it's really uncovered a lot about both of us. Some things I'm proud of, some things I'm not.
We're human.
There we go. We're human. Be classy. Wait for them to offer.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that sums it up for today. Do you have anything, Deborah?
Well, let's see here. Oh, just to say, classy is a state of mind.
So mind your classiness, everybody.
Bye.